Timmy and Winny Want to Know series, Part 7. A Bazaar to Remember. A Sus Heroes Global Resources production. It is a bright Saturday morning and Winny woke up with a jolt, leaped out of the bed, and without even bothering to check what time it is, ran straight to Timmy's room and frantically shook him while trying to wake him up. "Get up, Timmy," she said. "It is the bazaar day, and we are already late." Timmy whimpered as he rose from the bed reluctantly. He looked at his alarm clock on the table and said to Winny, "It's just 6:30 a.m. and the bazaar starts by 10. We are not late, Winny." "I'm sorry, Timmy, but we have to get up early so we can have enough time to prepare for it," Winny responded. The two walked out of the room and headed for the living room. Down the corridor, they heard Mum's voice coming from the packing room. They rushed over to see what she was doing. "Good morning, Mum. What are you doing?" Timmy was quick to ask. "Hello, Timmy and Winny. I hope you both had a good night's rest." The kids nodded, still looking at the pile of clothes Mum had left on the floor of the room. "I am sorting out Timmy's clothes that he has outgrown, and as you can see, they are so many that I am wondering what I can do with them. They occupy so much space in here too," Mum continued with one arm akimbo. "Well, I would figure out something soon. But right now, we have to get ready for the bazaar unless we want to get there late. I heard Mr. Joyful's store is setting up a tent to give out free ice creams to kids during the festival." As soon as the kids heard about the ice cream, they dashed off to their bathrooms to get ready to leave for the bazaar. "I will be in the kitchen to fix breakfast in a few minutes. I hope you can meet me there." Mum's voice echoed down the corridor. By 9:30 a.m., Timmy, Winny, and Mum were inside their car and ready to leave for the festival. Mum struggled to start the car engine for a few minutes. Finally, it roared to life and the kids gave a deep sigh of relief. As the vehicle drove out of the compound, Mum mumbled some words on how she and Dad needed to work some extra hours this summer to enable them to complete their savings towards the purchase of a new car. The drive to the festival ground was a long one and Winny was deep in thought. She was thinking about how she could make more paintings and sell them at the local children's store to raise some extra pocket money for their next holiday. She even contemplated giving Mum some of her money to add to their savings. Suddenly the car came to an abrupt halt and the screeching sound of the car tires brought her mind back to reality. "What's going on?" she exclaimed in horror. Brian's dog ran under the car and Mum had to stop the car to avoid running over it, Timmy explained. "Brian should be more careful with his dog," Winny fumed. "Not really, my dear. I understand his situation," Mum replied to Winny. "We need to be more patient with him. Brian is handling a lot of responsibilities," Mum continued as the kids watched Brian move his dog back to their arms begging spot while ensuring his dad's money bag was still intact under his knee. Watching over his blind dad and making sure they do not lose their money gift must be quite difficult for a young man like Brian, Timmy said. "And look, his clothes are torn at his ribs," Winny said, pointing to Brian. "Mum, if Brian were a bit younger, we would have given him some of Timmy's old clothes," she continued. "Yes, Winny. We even gave out many of our old clothes to the orphanage last holiday. Do you still remember?" Mum replied. Their vehicle exited the main street into 5th Avenue and right in front of them was Zulu's festival ground, the venue for the bazaar. The kids screamed in excitement as Mum drove into the parking lot to find a convenient parking spot. Everyone got down from the car and walked right into the Bazaar Festival. As they made their way through the stalls, they were fascinated by the wide variety of items displayed for sale. There were toys, farm equipment, electronics, vegetables, and clothing stores. Mum stopped by the household items shop and bought a new set of cooking knives. She also bought some watermelon and spinach. The kids got a free cup of ice cream each from Mr. Joyful's store. As they passed through the last stall, the inscription on the top of the shop canopy caught Winnie's attention. Thrift store. Mum, what is a thrift store? Winnie asked. Can we go in to have a look, please? She continued. Yes, Winnie, Mum replied, and the trio entered the stall. The shopkeeper invited them to look around, and Timmy and Winnie were very disappointed to find out that it was a clothing store. Why did you call your shop a thrift store and not a clothing store? Timmy asked the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper smiled at the kids and explained, a thrift store is a shop that sells second-hand or used clothes to raise funds for charity. What we have in here are clothes donated by men, women, boys and girls that they no longer need. They have been cleaned up and would be sold at a cheaper price than that of new clothes. The shopkeeper went further to tell the kids that thrifting old clothes is also very good for the environment. She said that it was a way of reusing used clothes and reducing the number of clothes that are thrown away into landfills. Old clothes that are thrown into landfills pollute our water, land, and the air we breathe. When we thrift our clothes, we are helping to keep our environment clean and healthy, she further explained. It was a great learning experience for Timmy and Winnie as they walked out of the thrift store. They began to discuss the idea of thrifting their old clothes to raise funds for Brian's family. As the family drove home, the kids sat quietly pondering over what they saw at the bazaar and especially at the thrift store. Lots of other questions about thrifting flooded their minds. What is the origin of thrifting? Is it only used clothes that one can find in a thrifting event? How do old clothes pollute our water?
Hey, friends, are you also as curious as Timmy and Winnie? Now, let's explore the answers to their questions. What is the origin of thrifting? No one actually knows when clothes thrifting began, as it has existed a long time ago. But the modern idea of thrifting was fully created between the 19th and 20th century by organizations like Salvation Army and Goodwill. Is it only used clothes that one can find in a thrifting event? No. Sometimes people donate brand new clothes with their labels and tags still on them for thrifting. How do old clothes pollute our water? Different types of fabrics have different rates of decomposition when they are thrown away in landfills. Some take up to 200 and more years to decompose. In the process of decomposing, they break down into microfibers and release chemicals which are harmful water pollutants.
Thank you for watching this episode of Timmy and Winnie Want to Know Short Stories. We hope you learned something new today. Timmy and Winnie Want to Know series is brought to you by the SUS Heroes, and we are on a mission to raise sustainability heroes around the globe. You can become a sustainability hero too. Grab a copy of our latest books, Help! My Spaceship is Having a Fever, Volumes 1 and 2. They are available on Amazon and Jumia stores, and you can find the link on the description of this video. To know more about the SUS Heroes, please visit our website, www.sus-heroes.com. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell icon to be notified when we post the next Timmy and Winny Want to Know story. See you in the next episode.